Hey, what's up? What's up? Joe in Vegas back with another review. A big one. Big one. Bruce, the boss. Bruce Springsteen. I have a mental list personally of some artists that I've never seen, that I want to see, that I have to see before I go. Bruce was at the top of that list. I never got to see him. Just never worked out. He doesn't come to Vegas, and always missed him when I was in LA and stuff like that. So a real treat for me. The second I saw he announced it, I've been waiting for the show for months. It does not disappoint. Let's get that out of the way right now. I didn't expect it to disappoint. I've only heard amazing things about his shows. They're notorious for being over 3 hours, and it was. I did peek at the set list because I was curious, and I saw that just about every night he changes up the set list. And I'll be honest, I was scared going to the show because you know me, I'm a hits guy. I love the music, I love everything, but I just feel if you're going to see an artist, especially a catalog artist, and you're going to play 3 hours, then you should be playing just about all your hits. And I saw that he didn't. I saw that he shifted it up on a lot of nights. Some nights you'll get Badlands, some nights you won't. Some nights you'll get, The River, I think. He didn't play that last night. So I was a little scared going in, but I had faith, and it's good that I had faith because it was like going to church last night. You know, there were a couple songs even where he was like, it just felt like gospel. The whole thing felt larger than life. It really did. He does such a good job of it. I don't need to get into Bruce Springsteen's history. This is not a history channel. It's a concert review channel. Anybody listening to this knows exactly who he is. And if you don't know enough about him, I highly suggest you find some documentaries just to learn about him and who he was and how he came up. And he was the artist for every man. He was your regular blue jean wearing white T-shirt, born in the USA type of guy, which he did not play either, which I was surprised. But he was just known, for his lyrics. And then he connected with the E Street Band, and those guys on their own are legends of the Jersey scene. I mean, these guys go back 50 years. All these guys do. I said it, I think it was about Mellencamp, and that's what it reminded me of last night. It's a seasoned skillet. You have these old skillets that have been cooked on for generations, and something happens to that skillet that it gives off a different taste than just cooking a steak in a frying pan. Bruce is that. He's weathered, he's seasoned. It doesn't matter, even if he fucks up or doesn't hit a note, it doesn't matter. It's so seasoned. That's the right word. It's just, it's so rich and heavy and real, and it's awesome. And you tie that into this big band. There must have been 20 people on stage. It makes such a big sound off that stage, and you have horns, and you have violins, and you have, Max Weinberg on drums. You have Little Steven on guitars, who's just so fucking cool. I know the Sopranos put him on another level, but he's so good on his own. It doesn't matter he was on Sopranos, but it does make it cooler to look at him and watch him. I'll be honest with you. He had Clarence's Kid on saxophone, which was such a nice. Every time he came out, Clarence's Kid would come out and do the sax parts, and the audience would just cheer, and it was just like you wanted to cry. It was just like a tip your hat to Clarence. We miss you. And it was just awesome. And it just gives off this sound that I don't know anybody else that does it at that level. There's a couple people maybe that are close, but I would think that he is the top guy that they're all trying to reach. Just fantastic. I'm going to get into this very long set list. Before I get into it, let's see. So I'll get into tickets real quick. So, as we all know, tickets are getting crazy. But I got to tell you, for Bruce, I was actually surprised he did not play Allegiant Stadium. I would think he'd be playing stadiums. He played an arena. And I'll be honest, I think he was having trouble selling it out. I think there were still tickets that week, which the only thing I can think of is I think this younger generation just has no idea who he is. Our generation, he's a god. Younger generation, no clue. Because I've gone to Bad Bunny and Nicki Minaj, and the places, there's people hanging off the rafters. It's so packed. It was packed, but I don't think it was like sell out in 5-minute pack. So I was surprised about that. I paid about $400 a ticket, which, again, and I'm going to get into the set list. It's well worth it because, number one, you're seeing an icon. Number two, he gives you your money's worth. He gives you 3 hours of entertainment. I mean, it doesn't stop. I don't know how he does it. I looked it up. The motherfucker's 74. I didn't know he was that old. Looks incredible, man. I wish I looked like that at 48. He's 74. He looks good. He sounds good. I could hear at the end of the show, I think his voice was starting to go. But like I said earlier, it doesn't matter if his voice, the way his songs are structured and the way he sings, if his voice starts to go, it just means it's getting more gravelly and more, rich and stuff like that. So it just fucking works. And you could see how well the band plays together and how they look at each other and how they bounce off each other. It's just almost perfection, man. It's like, oh, it's so good. Let's get to the set list. Started with Roll the Dice. It says here by the way, someone was updating this the whole show, like song by song. So good on you, man. I kept looking at it throughout the show. I love those guys. Anyway, I started with Roll the Dice. It says it was the tour debut. It's the first time he's played it since 2017. Lonesome Day, Prove It All Night, No Surrender, Ghosts, Letter to You, The Promised Land, which I remember that was really good. That's Spirit in the Night. These two, this felt like this Promised Land and Spirit of the Night. It just felt like you were at church. It felt like you were just seeing something. I can't even explain it. Don't Play That Sound, You Lied. You Lied. It's a Benny King cover. Night Shift by the Commodores. He covered that. Mary's Place. Then he did Hungry Heart, which, again, that was one of the songs. When I looked at the other set list, I didn't see it anywhere. It says here it's a tour debut, and it wasn't written on the set list. So whoever updated this had a copy of the actual set list. So he did Hungry Heart, which I was so happy about. Love that song. Racing in the Street, a tour debut. He did Last Man Standing, an acoustic. He did that. That was really good, actually. I remember that. It was really good. Backstreets. Then he did Patti Smith's cover, which I believe he wrote, Because the Night. That was fucking great, man. Forgot about that song. She's the One, Wrecking Ball, The Rising. Then he did Badlands. And again, now I'm like, oh, shit, I got two of these hits in. I was starting to get real happy. Badlands I love. To me, that is the E Street Band's sound. That the way it opens, the tone of that song. And then he went into Thunder Road. Thank God. My favorite Springsteen song, I think. So you had back-to-back Badlands and Thunder Road, which, again, I know the way this works. I do these reviews all the time. So the diehards are rolling their eyes at me saying, oh, the fucking hits, you just care about. I don't. I care about all of it, but I love the hits. I grew up on the hits. Those hits, when I hear them, put me in a time machine and take me back to the 80s when I was a kid. And there's nothing wrong with that. I hate people who fucking get all mad because all you care about is the hits. I care about the hits, but I like the whole thing. I'm there for 3.5 hours. But I like time machine songs. I like songs that I can freaking connect to, and it can remind me of when I was a kid. We had records. I mean, that's how old we all are. It was just a different time. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. So when he started getting into some of the hits, I really started to, the show got like, it was great, and then it got like, whoa. Did an encore after Thunder Road. Then he came out, which most artists do, and I like it. I should put a clip together of all the Viva Las Vegas. He came out, they did Viva Las Vegas, which a lot of artists do when they're in Vegas, which I get. It's fun. It's cool. It's cool to see it. Then he did Born to Run, also probably my second or one or two favorite Springsteen songs. Just perfection. It's such a great song, Born to Run. The visuals, when Springsteen sings, and the lyrics, you can paint that picture in your head so easily. He's such a good lyricist. You don't need videos. You don't need anything. You could just, we all have a vision in our head of these stories he's telling. Dancing in the Dark. Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped Rosalita. Come Out Tonight. Great song. He did Glory Days. Obviously one of his bigger hits. Great song. Great message behind that song. Especially, those songs, Glory Days hits harder as we got older. It was fun when we were younger, but now we're like, shit, I think he's thinking about us. But, you can relate to that song a lot more now. Dancing in the Dark, 10th Avenue Freeze Out, and then he did a second encore, and I'll See You in My Dreams. Man. So, let's see. What can I say? This was incredible. For me, it was incredible. He did still miss some of the hits. He didn't do The River, which I would have loved to hear. Born in the USA, obviously. I'm missing a couple. I'm on Fire. That was called Fire. But I'm okay. I'm okay with it. He makes up with it. There's so much music. It's like you're in Vegas. It's like a buffet of music. I don't know how he does it. He doesn't stop. He starts at this energy level and doesn't let up till the end. One thing I thought was cool is when they did the encore, I've never seen this before. They turned on the house lights. And for the rest of the show, which was like a good half hour, maybe more, the house lights were on in the arena, which was nice. I don't know. For some reason, normally it would have bothered me. For some reason, I think because you could see the crowd going crazy, it just was cool. I don't know. It worked. Everything worked. I'm trying to find some interesting things to say other than it worked. I really don't have any complaints other than like not playing the river and a couple songs like that. I really like that show. I think the more I think about it, the more I'm liking it. It was a great night. I was in section 16, by the way, if you're trying to figure out what to pay for tickets. Scale of 1 to 10, I think it's a 9.8 all day long. I think if he played, for me, if he played a couple more hits, it might have bumped up to a 9.9, but it didn't need to. Bruce is an icon. Bruce is a fucking treasure. He's more than just New Jersey. He's America. He's rock and roll. He's everything an artist should strive to be. A new artist should look at a guy like Bruce Springsteen and say, that's the career I kind of want to build. That's the career I should build. This is a guy who is just unmatched for so long, and I feel honored that I got to see him. Don't worry about the money. I think the upper level seats were actually pretty cheap the day of the show. Just go see him if you get a chance. These guys, I keep saying it, these guys are not going to be around forever. Go see them while you have a chance. It is an honor. It is something special. I don't think there'll ever be artists like this again. I don't see how that's possible, especially with the way music has gone in direction. Even if there's a resurgence of rock and roll, these guys laid the groundwork on how to be a rock star and how to do it. And they didn't know what they were doing, and they didn't set out to do it. It was just natural for them. I feel like anything now is somebody trying to regurgitate someone else's style, whatever it is. Bruce is something exceptional. 9.8 out of 10 all day long. Go see the show. Thanks for listening. If you were there, if you've seen them, leave some comments, subscribe. I'm trying to build this channel up, so please subscribe if you enjoyed this. And I will see you at the next show. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.